Hi Andy, lovely to meet up with you at the range the other day and do some work on your game. Just a quick recap on the key points that we covered. Obviously the session related to giving you an understanding of why the ball curved the way it did through the air and starting to try and introduce some power into your game. The initial swing, when viewed from face on, the thing we pointed out was that the stance was very, very narrow for someone trying to generate some power. So the first thing that we did was we widened the stance, as can be seen here on the lower left, and we positioned both feet so that they were turned out approximately 15 to 20 degrees. The turning out of the feet allows the knees to be positioned differently, freeing up the hips, allowing the hips to turn further and therefore the shoulders to turn further during the backswing. So what we've got now is a much freer turn, propelling the butt of the golf club further during the backswing, which creates more power. And also with yourself, with widening the stance, we're moving the centre of gravity further back behind the golf ball, not too far back. We don't want that to translate back, but we want the centre of the shoulder turn just a touch further back than we had at the start of your session, allowing us to shallow out the angle of attack a little bit and help get the club come from the inside just a little bit more. So we don't want the centre of the shoulder turn moving off the ball, but we do want a stance that's wider and therefore moving the centre of gravity back a touch, obviously resulting in shallower angle of attack and, in your case, bigger shoulder turn. So much freer move on the way back. The hips are freed up, the shoulders are freed up, the arms can travel further. Straight away you commented that the turn was much easier to create and there was a little bit less strain on the back. Then we looked at what was creating, again, power and curvature on the shot. The hands worked upwards very quickly, club was laid off, the swing direction was too much to the left, and it was always a little bit of a chop across the ball coming through impact. So too much upward and not enough inward during the backswing, and then that trend continued during the downswing. So we looked at some tour players and we explained that during the takeaway the hands worked inwards more, and the continuation of that inwards and upwards was carried on throughout the backswing. A little bit more inward and upward, a little bit more inward in your case, helps present the club more from the inside, creates a bigger turn, generates more power and reduces the amount at which you cut across the ball. You can see the shaft exiting higher there than what we see with yourself here in the centre screen. So the key here, we've put the canes down on the mat. As you can see, we've got a cane down for your target line and we've got a cane down where we want you to feel like the hands are tracing that line during the backswing. You can see there the hands trace the line, staying on the lower plane line on the way back before elevating onto the higher plane line. You can see now the left arm is tracing the cane that's on the mat, position at the top much less above plane, resulting in less of a swipe across the golf ball. Still a little bit out to in, but not as much out to in as we saw at the start of your session, as can be seen by a lower exit position. And if we look at your through impact, the club working under plane much less. We'd want to see that club working a little bit higher, the handle a little bit higher through impact, but that'll come in subsequent sessions. So we've gone from very narrow stance, picking the club up and chopping across it dramatically, to a wider stance, a bigger turn, more inward movement of the hands and arms, and an angle of attack, sorry, a swing path now, and a swing direction that is much less to the left. There will be other things in there that we'll work on as we progress through the season, but for now that's enough to be going on with. Keep working the hands in, keep the stance nice and wide, keep the feet flared out, and enjoy your golf. Well done.